Video games. There's no art form like it, where you as the player take part in a grand quest, an epic war or farm, truly any fantasy you can think of. But of course, it ends eventually. After beating the game, the credits roll and that's it, time to move on, but sometimes a game comes around you can't beat. Not because of some bug or a lack of free time. Sometimes games are made to be the most ass-kicking, rage-inducing thing ever. Today you still see games like this, some of them even use the fact they are hard as a selling point. But back in the day, games were hard as balls mainly because of arcades trying to take your money, or to make a really short game feel like it takes forever. I have played many games from many different generations and genres. I can proudly say I have beaten many hard games. But there was one game that always eluded me. From the day I picked it up as a kid to today as an adult, just hearing the name wakes me up at night, seeing it makes me break out in a cold sweat, and when I hear that jingle, it makes me yearn for the sweet, cold embrace of death. That's right, out of all the games from my childhood, I have never beat Ghosts and Goblins. Originally an arcade game made in 1985, it wouldn't gain infamy until a home release on NES in '86, where gamers everywhere understood what a game made by the devil would be like. I first experienced this series as a kid through the GBA port of Super Ghouls and Ghosts. It wasn't until years later when I got more savvy with emulation that I would play the NES game, and it pissed me off something fierce, so I stopped playing it. But for some reason, something would keep calling me back to it. Every few months I would come back, play it for like an hour, die a lot, turn it off, come back, rinse and repeat, like an abusive relationship. This game has been my mortal enemy for almost a decade now, but no more. Partially thanks to this YouTube channel, I have beaten some hard, even bad games, and have grown as an epic gamer. So I have decided to put an end to all this once and for all. I'm gonna sit down and not leave until I beat Ghosts and Goblins. The first thing I noticed when booting up the game was the demo that plays. It's pretty bad. There's also a weird third option that was invisible for some reason. Anyway, I started the game, and yes, these two were making love in a graveyard. It's fine, we don't kink shame here. So if you never played the game, it sort of controls like another Capcom NES platformer, Mega Man. But it's way more stiff in my opinion. You have two buttons, the jump button and the shoot button that fires your weapon. When you jump in this game, you have to commit. You can't adjust once you leave the ground, and there's no momentum. You go the exact same distance every time. It's something you really gotta get used to, which I didn't as I died in the first minute of the game. Yeah, not a great start. You have different weapons you can pick up. The default is the lance, which fires in a straight line, and you can only fire two at a time until one leaves the screen. I accidentally picked up the torch, which fires in an arc and stays around for a while, which I actually kinda liked and stuck with it for a bit. But then I got the knife, the best weapon in the game, there's no debate about this. It fires as fast as you can tap, so you can deal a lot of damage in no time. Despite not being equipped in-game, in reality, I was naked. See, I'm playing this on my legitimate NES console, so I'm using an NES controller. The problem I quickly noticed is the right direction button was broken, and wasn't working right, which is clearly why I died within a minute. It wasn't me, it was the controller. Makes sense since it's a 40-year-old console. So I switched to my spare Xbox One controller that everyone uses for their NES games. And now, unfortunately, I have no more excuses. I did have to restart the game, so I lost my knife. The worst part of this game to me is whenever you die, it shows you how much farther you have to go in the game, and it taunts you with this unskippable jingle and cutscene. God, that sound makes my penis go inside of me. So after conquering the first boss, my janky controller, my next hurdle was the Red Devil, one of the most infamous enemies in video game history. It flies around, shoots, and charges at you seemingly randomly. Gamers have had nightmares about this guy for decades, and I knew it wasn't going to be easy. I was planning on being stuck here for hours trying to figure out how to beat him. Oh, sick. Okay. Oh, he was harder when I was a kid. Pause. The rest of the level is pretty easy. Had to do some platforming and collect the swastika, but the rest of the enemies just kind of flew over me. I made it to the first boss, the unicorn, yes, that's a unicorn, and managed to beat him first try. Wow, I expected each level to take me an hour, but I did the first one in 10 minutes. This might be easier than I thought. I quickly died in level 2, and then realized that hidden third option was continue, which, thank God, lets me continue from the last stage I died in. I then passed the part I died at by performing a sick jump. Is this the one? What? Okay. That was frame perfect. God. I made it to the city area, and that's when I found out this game has checkpoints that even let you continue when you get a game over, which is nicer than I remembered. But this is when I ran into my real first hurdle. These assholes, they are so aggressive firing projectiles when far away, and when they see you, they charge at you so fast it's hard to shoot them quick enough before they get to you. And you have to do it in this area where you have to climb a lot of ladders in these linear hallways, and when you're under them, they take a shit on you. And look, I'm not trying to be gross, they squat down and take a dump on you when you try to do anything. Which is a great visual metaphor for this game. But it also made it harder to climb the ladders since they would camp out there to relieve themselves whenever they'd see you. There was even a part where I discovered something interesting. What? What hit me? What the fuck was that? I picked up a cat. Oh my god, was that guy, like, invisible but still there? Is that what happened? Is that what that was? The guy at the top or something? What the shit was that? So I didn't know then, but I know now that this was a result of the game's sprite limit. Some NES games do this where it can only load a certain number of sprites at a time, so when one disappears, another spawns. Cool bit of game design I wish I found out about another way. I also discovered the bullshit AI in this game when this one guy would just not let me progress. Dude, I swear to God. Bro, this guy... Move away from the ladder. Stop! Move from the ladder, thank you. That should be enough time. Seriously, it feels like these enemies are programmed to be in the worst spots at all times. I did find out that you can shoot through walls, which did make this part easier, and I made it through, hooray! Then I died to platforming. Even though I made it that once, I could not do as well again. I started to get stuck. Not just because of the guys with diarrhea, but also these crows that seem to spawn randomly to add another thing you have to pay attention to. I did make it a couple more times, but unfortunately after that labyrinth of RNG, I had to deal with the stiff platforming controls. To make matters worse, for some reason, a torch spawned out of nowhere, which never showed up before, so I was confused why it spawned randomly. I do know now that this is because items spawn when you stand in certain spots or climb certain ladders. But now I had it, and having a projectile in this section that did not go full screen proved to be an issue, and I couldn't fire another torch until the one on screen went out. And the torch would go over enemies sometimes, so yeah, I couldn't do this. I needed a new weapon, but without any idea how to get one, I had to make a tough decision. I decided to restart the game so I can get a better weapon in the first level. Which, hey, it's probably a good decision, right? I mean, I got to that point in like 15 minutes last time. I can do it again. Well, I managed to get the knife and make it back. This time, though, I was ready to beat this stage. The knife helped right away, made it past the health section and platform like a god to make it to the second boss, which was 2 unicorns. It just makes sense. I beat them first try and made it to level 3. Looks like resetting was worth it. Level 3 immediately threw everything at me: bats, zombies, fleshlights, and angry rocks. Then the return of the red devils, great. The worst part though were these, I think they're supposed to be ghosts and little demons spawning as you climb these stairs. Luckily it is fixed, it's not random, but it's still annoying when you don't know it's coming the first time. But yeah, not really much happened in this level. I was mostly stuck due to me not playing great, so after dying a lot, I eventually made it to the boss, a dragon, who again I beat first try. At least I'm making past all these bosses easily. Stage 4 was honestly the easiest of them all. First half was hard because I had to platform on these clouds, but it didn't take too long. Then I made it to this long bridge over lava that... what the fuck? Okay, that happened. Never happened again to me. What was that? After that, I made it across really easily. Then the level 4 boss was another dragon, not even 2 of them, like the unicorn. But I beat it first try again. I don't think I mentioned it, but this game does only have 6 levels, so yeah, with only 2 levels left and an hour and a half in, I was feeling pretty good, and I thought I could beat this game sooner than I expected. Level 5 introduced these skeleton enemies that activate when you get near them. This was also a vertical level all about going up. The worst part is this level has no checkpoints, so yeah, you die at any point, you start from the very beginning of the level, no matter how far you got. And oh great, my friends are back, lovely. And on the vertical level too. I did manage to make it to the boss pretty fast, who started attacking me before I made it to him, real cheap, and for the first time, I died to a boss, cause he cheated. Despite dying a few times, I started realizing I was getting better at this game, recognizing enemy patterns, movement, and I was starting to feel myself a little too much. It is unfortunate that all the skill can't save you from RNG. Oh my god. Okay, I was feeling confident going into this guy with health. Oh. Okay. Just kidding, I'm a god. So here we are, under 2 hours we are at the final stage of the game. It immediately throws some bullshit at you with skeletons right in front of you that will attack you if you move a pixel. Then of course it's the final level in a Capcom game, so we got a boss rush, my favorite. Actually it was pretty easy considering there are only 3 in the game and you only fight 2 here. After the dragon, a shield spawns, which thankfully I do know you have to pick up this weapon in order to beat the final boss. So yes, we have to use the knife, unfortunately. And now we have to go the entire rest of the stage with a weapon that fires just as fast, but has an awful distance. Of course I die pretty fast not knowing the rest of the level, but I pretty much made it halfway the first try, so surely I can again, right? Well, since the shield sucks, they luckily give you the lance at the start to switch to if you want to, so that's very nice of them. I get it because I didn't really like the shield, but then I quickly ran into a problem. While the unicorn is easy as usual, for some reason I cannot beat this dragon again. I beat it super easily the first 2 times, and hell, I even beat it the first time on this stage, but for some reason, I could not get past this guy again. I don't know what it was, but it just seemed like he took way more hits than before. Like, what's going on? Am I missing more than before? Did the knife do more damage than I thought? I had no idea what was going on. It just felt like nothing was working. Eventually, after an hour of trying on this stage and being stuck in that dragon, the sun was setting, so I decided to try again the next day. In the meantime, I decided to check out a speedrun of the game, not to figure out what I did wrong or to get tricks on how to beat level 6. I was only going to watch the level 5, because after suffering for so long, I wanted to see someone make this game super trivial. And naturally, if there was a speedrun of a game at a GDQ, it's usually the first result, so I watched a run by Error72. And while watching it, they said something interesting.
So I picked up the torch there. The bosses are each immune to one of the weapons of the game, and the dragon here is actually immune to the lance. So I was forced to pick up the torch since I didn't have another weapon at the time.
Yeah, and that mechanic's not present in the arcade version. It's kind of a weird thing they did here.
Yeah, so apparently bosses are immune to certain weapons. What the fuck? How would you know that? I checked the manual, it doesn't say bosses are immune to weapons. What, you just have to know? Oh, and the knife is actually a sword? Who cares? I'm pissed. I spent an hour fighting this guy, thinking I was doing something wrong, but it's because of a bullshit rule that nowhere in the game or manual tells you. This is the reason they gave you the javelin, because the unicorn is immune to the shield. So yeah, I was avoiding it thinking it was a worse weapon, but they put these two back to back because of the invincibility the bosses have. Looking back at the footage, yeah, I can see the hit sparks or whatever aren't appearing, but when I'm busy dodging and shooting, you think I'm paying attention to that? Now, I'm sure someone will comment, actually, the game tells you this in level 3 in a subpixel. Fuck you, it doesn't. No kid in 1980 whatever would have known this. Maybe it was a Nintendo Power or something. I mean, it's just some extra retro game bullshit to, again, add more length to what would be a short NES game. And yes, this is the reason why you have to get the shield, by the way, because the final boss is immune to every other weapon but the shield. So yes, after finding this out, I was easily able to make it past the dragon on the next day. Fuck you, Capcom. Sorry, finding that out really pissed me off. I had to get over my emotions quickly though, as a brand new problem started to rise after this. The rest of the level. Yeah, I spent so long on the dragon that I have not been able to practice the rest of the stage, so it's going to be a bunch of trial and error from here on out. After the dragon, they decided to troll you by putting another torch on the ground, followed by a corridor of red devils that trigger if you get too close or accidentally hit them, thanks to all the enemies that surround them. Including everyone's favorite poster boy for IBS. Then there is always the worst factor in any game, RNG. Yes, there are ghosts that spawn too, and of course they like to spawn in the most inconvenient of places and times. And yeah, as much as I'd like to say, yeah, I'm a god that made it to the end in no time, I got hard stuck on this level. Maybe because it had been a while since I played the RNG, accidentally picking up that torch, or maybe I'm just bad? Nah, that can't be it. No matter what I did, I was dying a lot, either to the unknown things in the level or even to the dragon sometimes. The easiest win and only consistency I had was against the unicorn. It was at this point I found out what spawned items, so I even started to try looking for hidden health or power-ups in this level, but no luck. Now eventually I did use a save state on my legitimate NES system, not to make the game easier, but since I was dying so much and was determined to beat this today, I made one at the start of the stage after killing the skeletons, just to save time so I wouldn't have to keep watching that unskippable cutscene and kill the skeletons every time. Seriously, that was driving me crazy. But maybe I didn't need it, as I made it to the end of the level after accidentally picking up the torch, so I couldn't even beat the game. At least now I know the end of the level was not far away, and the boss is two of those big chungus demons. Then after 30 minutes of being stuck, eventually a savior arrived to free me from this hell I put myself in. That hero's name was Cookie_Dog9000, a fellow _name user. I don't know who this person is, but I was streaming this run and they arrived in my chat and told me that it actually is possible to skip the dragon. I didn't buy it, but since I was losing my sanity, I decided to try it. Well. Oh, he does. Wow. They even told me that I can skip the shield, and doing this led to an interesting result. Fuck. Oh, look at that. Oh, that is the... Wow, that is interesting. The floor. Nice fucking ghosts. Now, I'm not exactly sure, but I think the floor glitches out like this due to sprite limitation or something. I'm sure someone with more NES knowledge could say why in the comments. But with this new knowledge of skipping the dragon, I was able to make it to the end of the level again, and even managed to find a spot where I can't get hit. Well, most of the time. But at this point, I don't think any more knowledge could help me. It was now just me and the game. My only way to beat this was to get good. You son of a bitch. Are you fucking kidding me? It's just this asshole. Fuck! I swear to God, if I actually beat it here... Oh, are they immune to this? Is that the thing? Is that the troll here? Yeah, looks like it. Fucking... Oh my God. I was doing so well. Why'd it go straight down? That's the thing, I don't know these guys' patterns. Oh my God. So frustrating. Yeah, after an hour of trying this again, I was getting frustrated, but at least I was getting better. I was better at pattern recognition, dodging the troll weapons, and even was making it to the end more consistently. But I think what made this so frustrating was that there was no other way to beat this than me playing better. I couldn't really blame any random RNG or whatever, you know, it was just me and my skill. Like I had some sort of issue with it. But looking back, my frustration was making me play worse sometimes. By this point, though, I was locked in, and eventually I had the run. Actually, I realized how much time they give you, how much waiting I have to do. Like, 3 minutes seems like not that long, but the level's only like 30 seconds. It's even longer when this happens. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you serious? I was doing so well and a fucking ghost literally spawns on top of me. Like, how do you avoid that? I could have won that if that ghost didn't spawn right where it fucking was. Are you serious? That is so bullshit. Yeah, I have to agree with past me. I played so well there, but then a ghost spawns right on top of me. There's nothing I could do. Okay, maybe RNG has something to do with it. But that did trigger me in the right way, as now I was determined to beat this. I wouldn't let the game hit the last lap. I would be the video game boy. In fact, I think I was going a little too hard because I was mashing these buttons so much that I legit had to take a few breaks to stretch my hands and fingers because I was getting some bad carpal tunnel. I also just kind of stopped talking after a while. Even when dying, no reaction. I was just a husk with the only function to beat this game. Eventually the goat, cookie_dog9000, returned and told me of a hidden armor near the top of the ladder after the dragon. After some, trial and error trying to find it, I was able to get it and figure out how to spawn, so hopefully knowing of this extra hit, I can make it through this after almost 2 hours of trying. Even more if you count the first day, I guess. Unfortunately though, I was starting to reach my limit, man. Especially when I would make it so close to the end only to lose at the last second. Honestly, I was only going to give it one more run, then I was going to give up. I didn't care anymore. What did it matter if I beat some 30-year-old game that no one cares about? My life's not going to change. I'm just going to sit there miserable and depressed wondering why I didn't spend these last several hours doing something productive like my taxes. So, one more try, one more attempt, and that was going to be it for me. Okay. Whatever. Kind of sounds like a car alarm or something. Not a car alarm, like a... I'm gonna say it. I can't use words right now, my brain is... I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna stay here as long as it takes. I do not care. Like, it's been 4.5 hours, this is gonna be 4 days, I don't care. I mean, with all the way those ghosts spawn, it's probably gonna be 4 days. And if whoever's watching this, Cookie Dog, some random viewer, like, you're gonna be here with me. You're gonna think you're not gonna want to be here, but you're gonna be here. Even if you don't want to be. Oh boy, points. Whatever. Okay, 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 okay. Oh my god, I'm hyperventilating. Yeah, I know this is happening. Hang on, I can't. Yes, to my surprise, after so much struggle, RNG, trial and error, I had beat the final level and made it to the last boss. I was feeling a mix of emotions right now. Fear, anxiety, hatred, regret, horny, but I knew I had to do this. This was my one chance. After over a decade of me trying to beat this game, I had made it to the screen I thought was impossible. I meditated for hours, days, making sure I was in the right mental state to do this. After all, through this, for the most part, I beat every other boss in the first try. So this one won't be any different. Right? Okay. Alright, let's go. Let's do this. Oh, okay, I have to hit the head. Oh, this is... Okay. This room is an illusion and is a trap devised by Satan. Go ahead, dauntless... What? So, yeah, let me explain. See, when you beat the game, you don't really beat the game, like, every other video game. You have to do it again on another playthrough to get the true ending. There is a difference the second time around. The enemies are faster and they're more aggressive, I think. I actually did know this for a long time, but my reaction there is real, because I was so focused on what's in front of me and happy I finally beat the game I never could as a kid, that I completely left my mind. I needed to technically beat it twice. Yeah, fuck that. Look, after all that, I'm considering this game done. I'm not going through all that a second time just to see a screen of text of misspelled and mistranslated congratulations, only to be told, oh yeah, now do it again, you bitch. Fuck that, fuck this game, fuck you. I'm gonna go jerk off to these two banging in a graveyard and fall asleep, never thinking of this game again. Like, comment, subscribe.
It's a rap like some bandages, the winner is unanimous. I'm quicker than the flashes from the lights on the cameras. Oh, you the best? What a big cap. I can take you standing on my backpack. Don't listen to the chatter or any of the commotion. Where your life go or your boy got it stolen. Hey, harder than